Hi Flosstube, this is Stephanie, the IvyHouseCrafter. It is January 28th, and I'm coming at you with Flosstube number 30-something. You know, but I don't yet, because I usually don't check that until I'm editing. Let's see. Let's start with the dad joke of the day, because I got my husband a daily dad joke calendar. And I thought, why not? I'll just do a dad joke of the day every week. What has a horn and gives milk? A milk truck. Okay, let's see. Next thing I have written is that I am making progress with my hula hooping. And it is very slow progress. I am doing better, but shoulder hooping and chest hooping are really deceptively difficult to learn. I mean, they look really simple and basic. You're just like hula hooping with the hoop around your shoulders or like right up under your arms, but it is hard. My body does not move that way. But I'm making a little bit of progress. Like I can get it going around my shoulder or my chest a couple rotations before it decides it doesn't want to do that anymore. So yeah, still working on that, still having fun with that, but it's slow going. Let's see. My husband, he is the clerk for our congregation, and a while back he found in the clerk's office, no, not in the clerk's office, in the library at the church, a cross-stitched piece that he thought that I would enjoy. So he brought it home for me to see and to be able to show off a little bit before we return it, because it does belong to the library at the church, but hopefully there's not too much of a glare. This is one of the presidents of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that I'm a member of, and yeah, this is Spencer W. Kimball. He was the president of the church, I think, when I was born. So yeah, it is a full coverage little oval, and yeah, Jeff, my husband, he was just very impressed and like, oh, so that's kind of what the stuff that Steph is working on is gonna look like the active service and the dolphin sketch. Those are both full coverage with very neutral color palettes, and he was, it just kind of like clicked for him, like, oh, okay, I get it. So he brought this home to show me, and so that I could show it, and yeah, I just think it's really neat. The stitching is not super well done. Like it's a little bit messy. Some of the X's are crossed in the wrong direction, but you know, looking from here you can't tell, and it's just, it looks really neat. I hope there's not a huge amount of glare, because I can't tell. I have natural light sources from both sides, so I don't know what kind of glare situation I have going on, but yeah, I just thought that this was really neat, and it was neat that my husband thought it was neat, that he saw that and thought, I should take that home and show my wife so she can show it on her channel. So yeah, full coverage oval piece of President Spencer W. Kimball. Really neat. And now where can I respectfully set him? Okay, there we go. I have a little bit of designing news. I showed a couple videos back this Number Stories book from the 1930s that was given to us, and mentioned that I thought that it would just be really neat to take some of these illustrations and turn them into cross-stitch patterns. Well, I have started. I picked what I thought was a relatively simple picture. This is feeding the pigs. Betty and Bobby like to feed the pigs. And it asks, you know, how many pigs are in the picture, and how many is Betty feeding, and how many is Bobby feeding, and all that. So, I mean, the easiest way to go about this would have been to scan in the page and then have my, you know, upload it to my cross-stitch pattern program and have it change it into a cross-stitch pattern that I would then go in and fix up. My scanner doesn't work. You know, I have the, it's an all-in-one printer, copier, scanner thing, but I'm not a computer person. I can't figure out how to get it to scan properly. Like, something about our like virus detection, computer security stuff won't let scans come through. It's ridiculous, and I can't figure it out. So instead, I took a picture with my phone that I then uploaded to the cloud, and then downloaded onto the computer, and then uploaded it to WinStitch, and the colors were just all messed up, and and yeah, it was basically just a mess. And so I'm having to go in and clean it up, and it's a lot of work. Like, I spent 3 hours on it the first night, and I got probably about a third of the way done. Maybe between a third and a half. No, closer to a third. I don't know. It was a lot of work, and it gave me a really big headache. And the next time I worked on it, I also got a really big headache, but it's also a lot of fun. It's a fun challenge, going in and taking this jumbled mass of random colors that don't look like they belong anywhere and changing it into something that looks like this. So that is something that I'm currently working on. At the moment, it is full of fractional stitches, to the point where I don't know that I would enjoy stitching it. There is a lot of fractionals to get the shapes right. But it's also a lot of back stitching. So what I'm going to do before I you know, release it as an official pattern and put it in my Etsy shop and everything, I'm going to stitch portions of it a couple different ways. You know, stitch like her face first with all the fractionals and the back stitching, and again without fractionals and with the back stitching, and see if it makes that big of a difference. Because if it doesn't, like if I find that it doesn't really need all those fractionals, yay, because fractionals they can be kind of challenging to stitch, like 3/4 stitches and half stitches and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna stitch portions of it both ways, just to see how many fractionals I really need and how many full crosses I can get away with on these, like the borders between her hair and the background, or her dress and the pig, you know. So this is a designing first for me. I've never done anything like this pattern. It's a fun challenge. I'm having fun with it, and I hope that when it is completed and released, people will have fun stitching it. Okay. so that is my designing stuff. Okay, so I started filming my next segment, and Audrey came upstairs to get a snack and happened to notice that the camera was flashing no battery or no memory storage. So I had to stop and delete a bunch of stuff from the camera, and I'm just gonna start this section over again. So I am going to show you my whips now and some plans for 2019, but I am also going to be doing the Tranquil Stitches True Confessions tag. And this is a tag that was introduced by Cheryl McKinney in her latest Flosstube video, and I will link that below. And it's not about stitching, it's more about silly or embarrassing personal things. But I'm gonna give it a go. So I will be, answer a question, show a project, answer a question, show a project. So that's how this next segment's gonna go. First question, what's your sign? I'm Sagittarius. I was born firmly in the middle of the Sagittarius thing. It doesn't describe me at all. I don't relate at all to any of the descriptions of what a Sagittarius is or should be. That's not me. So, yeah, Sagittarius reluctantly. Okay, the first piece I'm going to show is Cottage Garden Samplings Songbird's Garden Series #1 Forever and Ever. That's a bit of a mouthful, but I love it, so I'll put up with it. Since the last time I showed this, I finished the leaves on the green flower and stitched the pink flower. There's something under my foot. I have my foot tucked up under my leg and there's something stuck under my foot and it's uncomfortable. Alright. Okay. So, yeah, it's so pretty and it just turned out very, very lovely. I realized after I stitched these two flowers that the designer, to make this flower similar to this one but different, she changed the colors and then took this flower and just turned it. This is the exact same design as this. It's just a quarter turn counterclockwise. And I was so proud of myself for noticing that and seeing that. I thought that was really cool. If you look, this petal is exactly the same as this one. This petal corresponds with this one. This petal is this one, this petal is this one, and this petal is this one. It's the exact same flower, only turned and a different color. Which is genius because it makes it look similar enough to know that they're the same type of flower on the same plant, but different enough to make you think that she designed two different flowers. But she only had to do half the work. So, yeah, I was impressed. That is a really neat trick. I'm gonna have to borrow that sometime. Oh, and there was a cat hair on it this whole time. That's okay, there's cat hairs on everything I own. So, that was Cottage Garden Sampling, Songbird's Garden Series #1, Forever and Ever. Oh, stitched on 36 count Tyco Edinburgh linen 1/2 in the DMC conversion. Okay, next question. Have you ever been skinny dipping? I have not, in the traditional sense. when we lived in Japan, when I was a teenager, you know, they have the Japanese public baths, and one of the sort of leaders of our young women's group in church took my older sister and my next younger sister and one of our friends to one of these public baths. And it was a really neat experience. I think I've mentioned before, I like learning about other cultures, a lot of historical stuff, but I also like learning about current cultures too. And so being in Japan and being immersed, well, not entirely immersed in that culture. We did live on the air base, and it was very Americanized there, but you know, just drive outside the gates and suddenly, bam, you're in Japan. And we did participate in a variety of cultural things that were just really neat. So one of those was this public bath, and so it was just a very, very tranquil, very zen, very calming and beautiful experience, and everybody just happened to be without clothing. They have separate sections for the men and the women, so I didn't see anything that would scar my poor young teenage innocent mind. So it was also very clean, like very sanitary. You go in, you disrobe, you go to the little showering station. It's kind of like a little sit-down shower with a mirror. Was the mirror? Yeah. Anyway, I'm not describing it very well, but basically you go, you clean yourself off really well, and then you go into where the pools are, and there was a variety of pools, and they were various depths of water, various temperatures. Some were really, really hot, and some were just like lukewarm, some were in between. There was rocks and fountains and waterfalls, and it was just really pretty, and that was just a really neat experience. So no, I've never been skinny dipping, but I have been public bathing. Okay. So the next whip I'm going to show, this is Active Service by Purple Stitching. I worked some more on filling in her face. I pick a color in her eye area and then fill in as much as I can of that color. I get that color completely done in the eyes, and then if it's in the nose and the mouth, I do that too. And if I still have floss left on my needle, I take it to, like, if there's some on her neck or around her forehead or something. So that's how I'm progressing on this. There are 48 colors total in this cross-stitch piece, and I think at least 2/3 of them are represented in each of these, like, 1-inch square sections. Holy cow, there are so many colors in this face, especially in these eyes and the mouth. You can see she is filling out, she is coming along and getting more and more detailed. But holy cow, there's so many colors. It is a little bit ridiculous, but worth it. Obviously, she is beautiful and continues to just get more and more lifelike the more colors I add. It just takes a long time to get, like, there's, in the mouth, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches left in the mouth, and at least 3 different colors in those 7 stitches. Ugh. So, yeah, it's coming along, and I love it, and there is so much confetti in this face. Holy cow. What TV show is your guilty pleasure? Let's see. A couple years ago, I would have answered The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I was really into those for a while. I haven't been lately. Let's see. I think right now it's Project Runway. I'm watching some previous a previous season, and I call it a guilty pleasure just because so much drama. I'm not a drama person in that sense of the word. I mean, I did drama in high school as in theater, and I minored in theater in college, but yeah, the drama between people, yeah. So that's kind of my guilty pleasure. I don't experience that type of drama in real life, in my life, and so it's fun to watch other people and their drama. So that's my guilty pleasure, Project Runway. And it's fun to look at the clothes and think, holy cow, what on earth are they thinking? And then have the judges rave about it, and yeah, so much fun. Okay, my next piece, Minecraft ABC. This is from Happy Cupcake Creations. Let's see, last time I had the border, it was completed right about to here, and then I had a couple colors spattered around here. I had axe, bucket, and creeper, and the outline of diamond. So in working on it, I finished the diamond and added Enderman and fence and worked on the border. Now, I don't particularly care for Minecraft, it's not my thing, but my kids love it, as kids do, and they get excited when I bring this out to work on. When it's finally done, I'll frame it and put it up downstairs near the computers, and they can glance up and see how awesome Mom can sometimes be while they're playing Minecraft. Oh yeah. My 6-year-old, is he 6? Yes. Can name what each one of these things is. I mean, it only gives the letter, but he can look at it and be like, oh, that's this, and this, and this. I'm like, maybe you guys play the computer a little too much. But, yeah. So, the kids are excited about that. And that I put some more work into it. Okay, this next piece is Ink Circles Chalkboard Mandala. This was passed to me from Abby, Top Knot Stitcher, and in her most recent video entitled Meat Jam, she shows her FFO of this, and then mentions the fact that she passed it to me and that I'm working on a different colored version of this. And when I watched that, I was like, you know what, I should get that out and work on it this week. So I did. Mine is very different from hers. I'm stitching this on 32 count lambswool Jobelin with J&P Coats variegated yellow-orange color. It was just a packet of variegated floss that I got from either Joann's or Walmart, I don't remember. But I'll be stitching it twice, one in this colorway and then one in a blue colorway, and they'll be displayed next to each other as a fire and ice kind of thing. So last time I showed this, I had this portion here done. So just these and then this part up here. And so I did all the rest of this corner. Oh yeah, I also had the center motif done. So yeah, I finished up this corner. So just 3 more corners left and this piece will be done. I think I skipped I might have skipped a question. that's okay. Question 4, do you hide any food from your family members? Hashtag obviously duh. I do. More than I should. And it's not healthy foods that I'm hiding. At the moment, I don't think that I have anything hidden from them, but I have been known to find some very creative places to hide my snackage, my cookies and chips and candy and things of that nature that I shouldn't be eating. Yes, I hide food. So, okay, I've shown all of my whips. Now what I would like to do is show projects that I would like to finish this year. So this is kind of like a whip parade, but not exactly. I'm not showing all of my projects. It's not, I mean, it's similar to like Year of Whips or Stitch 9 challenge, but I'm not really officially joining either of those. This is just, these are some things that I would like to have done this year to make room for new projects that I want to start. So, these two that I most recently showed are on that list. I would like to finish Minecraft ABC this year, and I would like to finish Ink Circle's Chalkboard Mandala. A lot of these are, you know, just some of my older whips. They've been around for a while, and I would like to finish them. So that's those two. Who was the first person you kissed? My college boyfriend in, what was it? Yeah, my sophomore year of college. And he's the only person that I've ever kissed besides my husband. I don't particularly care for talking about him. I was very inexperienced and immature, and the whole relationship was just kind of weird, and it ended on a really weird note. Just, yeah. So that was the first guy that I kissed, and the second guy I kissed, I ended up marrying him, and that's that. Okay, this project I would really like to finish this year. This is Roses on White Chair. This is my oldest whip, my first cross-stitch project that I started since coming back to cross-stitch as an adult. I started this in January of last year, and this is where it's at. It's very creased because I haven't gotten it out and worked on it in quite a while. Yeah, it is just really pretty, very much my style as far as artwork. There's still a lot of filling in that needs to happen here inside the flower pot, and then of course I have to do the entire background. And some of these like outlying flowers and stuff. So I still have a lot of work on it, but I'm pretty sure I could get it done this year if I just get it out and work on it instead of just letting it languish in my whip pile like it has been. Anyway, it's just such a pretty piece, and I mean, you know, I know that I will love it when it is done. Since it's the first one that I've ever worked on, like, you know, of course I did it on the Ada that came in the kit, and it's kind of scratchy and stiff. And There's a lot of blended colors. There's a lot of back stitching that's going to go into this. So it's not necessarily my favorite piece to work on, but it is very beautiful and I would like to have it finished. All right, what is your worst habit? That is none of your business. No. I have a lot of worst habits. I'll just touch on one, I guess. I have a food addiction. That counts as a pretty bad habit. And it's got some not so fun consequences, such as, you know, if you look at my first video, my face was like this thick. I mean, I was little, and now I'm not. You can like watch my weight gain through my videos, and it's not very pleasant to look back and see that in myself. So yeah, this kind of goes along with the hiding food thing. That is one of my worst habits. I don't take care of my body, and it in turn does not treat me very kindly. So there's that. Okay, next on the list of pieces that I would like to finish, I'm going to show 3 at once. These are my seasonal samplers that I designed and are in my shop. This is Summertime Sampler, and I showed this in one of my fairly recent videos. I'm pretty close to a finish on this, you know, not a whole lot left to do, and it's very cute and pretty. I also have Autumn Time Sampler, not nearly so close to a finish, but I have the border and the alphabet done, and so I just need to do the birdhouse and the pumpkins and the flowers and the words and the birds and the leaves. So not too much, right? Yeah, still a long ways to go on this one. I like the colors on this, they're really nice. And Wintertime Sampler. I just have the border, you know, some of the border done on this. This border is more full than the other borders. It's a little bit more labor intensive to stitch it, but it's really pretty and very bright colors. And yeah, I really like this piece too. Poinsettias and the pine tree, and, or is it a fir tree? I don't know. The evergreen tree and the cute little snowy birdhouse with the snowmen and the cardinals. So I would like to finish all 3 of those this year. Okay, do you sleep with a stuffed animal? I do not. However, my stuffed sloth that I got for Christmas sits on my nightstand right next to my bed. So I sleep very near my stuffed animal, but I don't like cuddle with my stuffed animal or anything. Okay. I didn't get the pattern out for this one because it's a big book, but my next project that I would like to see finished this year is Bird Sampler by Brenda Keyes, and this is being stitched on 32 count lamb's wool jobelin with the called for DMC. My pattern of this is from the Brenda Keyes book Traditional Samplers. This pattern is also available from Kitten Stitcher. If you go to her website, and I can link the pattern below for those who are interested, because it is beautiful. It's got a very very flowery and kind of a unique border, in that it's got these birds in the border. So it's pretty fun. So yeah, I would like to see that one finished this year. Okay. If you suddenly became invisible, what's the first thing you would do? Take a nap. That's like my first answer for everything. I would just take a nap. I honestly don't know what I would do if I became invisible. Like, I've always thought, you know, people ask, what superpowers do you wish you had? And invisibility was always one of mine that I would like to have. Like invisibility, flying. I do like Elastigirl's superpower where she can like stretch super far. That would come really in handy. But yeah, I never really thought about what would I do if I was invisible. I think that I would just keep doing my thing. Like, I wouldn't go out and rob a bank. I wouldn't go running around naked. I wouldn't go do any like big embarrassing things, but or things that would be embarrassing if you could see me. I don't know. Take a nap. That's my answer. All right. This year I would like to finish Summer House by Brooks Books Publishing. This is part of the House for All Seasons freebie collection. And this is what I've got done on it so far. Probably about a third of the stitching done. So I still have lots of rose bushes and lots of tree branches and leaves to put in the roof and the door. Yeah, I still have a lot to go on this one, but it would be nice to have this finished. I think this one was a Mania start from last year, perhaps? Anyway, so it'd be nice to get that finished this year. Let's see. Do you have a silly nickname? I do. Not many people use it, but in college, I had this one roommate, and I don't remember everything about this conversation that we had. It was a late night conversation, the kind where you laugh more than you talk, and when you wake up you don't really remember most of what you talked about. And somehow by the end of the conversation my nickname had become Pectin and hers had become Toast. Super random. And so the next year I had different roommates, but we decided that we would all have our roommate nickname, and so I went ahead and went with Pectin because that had been my nickname the previous year with this other roommate. And so we had Pectin, Ray, Philly, Mama, and then people who became part of our group of friends were also given nicknames. We had a Fizzy and Mesquite and Squirt and the man that I would go on to marry, and his name was either Skippy or Jiff, depending on the mood of the person saying it. His roommate Kent he had a load of nicknames. Kentalope, Kenty Kane, it's random stuff. So yeah, nowadays not many people call me Pectin. My husband occasionally does. But yeah, that's my silly nickname. Let's see. I just did a whole lot of talking, and it was not filming because my camera cut out and I didn't realize it. That just, this particular video is not filming so easily. Okay. I'd like to finish Wild Lilies Flourish. This is 18 count vintage country mocha. I don't know for sure that I'll be able, well, I mean, I don't know any of these for sure, but it's kind of a large piece. I don't know that I will be able to get it done this year with all the other things that I'm also working on, but I'd like to try. I'm excited for when this is done and I'll be able to, you know, display it and say, yeah, I designed that, I stitched that. I'm cool like that. Have you ever eaten something off the floor? Huh, hashtag obviously, duh. Yes, I eat things that have fallen off of the floor, and sometimes I'll even eat things that my toddler, Matthew, has started to eat, and then it ends up on the floor and he's not going to finish it. If it's not too gross, I'll go ahead and finish it because I don't like to waste food. Spirit of Cross Stitch Angel ornament. I don't work on this one a whole lot because it's on perforated paper and I've found that that's not my preference. But, I mean, it's so pretty. Look at those flowers. It's going to be just really pretty when it's done. Just one that I need to make myself work on. Okay. Have you ever been stood up? I have not. That is one thing that I have not experienced, and I am fine with keeping it that way. Boring answer. Not much to that, but that's okay. Okay. Another one that I need to just make myself work on is the Freebie Blackwork Tangram Sal from Lakeside Needlecraft. This part obviously has been released. It was released a long time ago. I haven't printed out the new bit of pattern yet because I am nowhere close to getting to that point. I haven't picked this one up and worked on it for quite a while. And it'd be nice to just, you know, get it done so that it's not taunting me from the whip pile. Have you ever used someone else's toothbrush? No. Gross. Yuck. Icky. I have not. I don't even store my toothbrush with anyone else's toothbrush. That's just, it's gross to me. And that was all the questions for the tag. So, yay, I completed the Tranquil Stitches True Confessions tag. Medieval Motives. I would like to finish this year. This is one of my designs in the Saxon / medieval style. Yeah, I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more square motifs about that size and a border along the top and the bottom, and this will be done. So that is all my pieces that I would like to get done this year. Yeah, I would like to just focus a lot more on getting finishes this year. I had quite a few finishes last year, but I also had quite a few pieces that I have brought with me from last year, a lot of my older whips, that I would just like to finish and move on to new pieces. I was going to show pieces that I have that I would like to work on, or that I would like to start this year, but I decided that I'm not going to make a segment and show, this is what I would like to start. I'll just, as I start them, show them. That's what makes sense to me right now. Okay, I do have some knitting progress that I would like to show. I've been working on the dragon tail shawl, and this is that one that's really hard to show in, on the camera. It's long and skinny. So last time I had just transitioned to this lighter blue. I was like 1 or 2 rows into it. And since then I have finished the light blue section and moved on to the kind of white section. Anyway, this piece is really pretty and coming along nicely. And I was digging around my room looking for one thing and finding other things, and I found this cute little bag that somebody gave me. It's one of those like drawstring backpack things. So this is what I'm keeping my knitting project in, instead of just, oh, it's got something on it. Yuck. This side. This is the pretty side. So, no, this is what I'm keeping my knitting project in. There we go. Keep it simple. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to have some fun cobbling together all these bits and pieces. The camera has not been kind to me today with cutting out and this and that. I have project bags to show. If you are not interested in seeing the project bags that I'm going to be selling, thank you for watching. See you next time. So, I have, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 project bags. Last time I talked about selling project bags, I said that I was going to be basically doing it the way that Tranquil Stitches does it, where she shows it on her channel, and then if you would like to purchase one, you email her, and then just work it all out that way. I think that for me, the simplest way to do it will be to list them on Etsy, and then you go buy them. If you really would rather email, or you can email to ask about specific requests that you might have, for a custom bag or something, that is totally fine. But yeah, what I'm going to do, I will show the bags on my Flosstube, and then I will list them on Etsy. And I think that will just be what's easiest for me. So, what I have, first I have the farm animal bag. And it's got this cute fabric that makes it look like it's quilt. And here's the lining for the bag. They are all fully lined. Big enough to hold an 8-inch Q-snap. In a pinch it will hold an 11-inch. Kind of fits more snugly, but it can hold an 11-inch. Here is the zipper charm with pretty stars. So this is the farm animal bag. Here's the yellow bird bag. Cute yellow fabric, sweet birds with blue gingham wings, and the blue and white polka dot fabric. And remember, each of these has a hand crocheted trim sewn in. And here is the lining for this bag. Lovely gingham. And here's its zipper charm. All right. The blue damask bag with the pink accent and pink, sorry, there's a hair. I should, apparently. Pink crocheted trim. There's the zipper charm. And the lining. I love damask. It is one of my favorite pattern styles. Just very pretty. I was, when I was making this one, I was so focused on making sure that this fabric was oriented correctly and it wasn't upside down. And then I realized, hang on a second, they go both up and down. It's exactly the same no matter which way you hold it, so it doesn't really matter which way it's oriented as long as it's not like left and right with the front being up and down, then it's fine. Okay. Retro Floral. This is a really fun bag. And here's the back. I really like the design of this fabric. Here is the zipper charm. And the lining. Just a simple green. So, retro floral bag. The Woodland Babies bag. It's got hedgehogs and deer and owls and foxes. And it's just really cute. And there's like butterfly with the deer, and so for the charm I used a butterfly and an owl. And there's another hair. And the lining is this sweet green, kind of reminds me of woodland plants on the inside. So, Woodland Babies. And this one is just really cool. This is my Geometric Mod bag with its black trim, and the zipper charm is black and neon green buttons. It's really cool. It's got the black zipper and then this blue geometric fabric on the inside. So, Geometric Mod. And then the last bag, I finished this one well, I finished the sewing on Saturday, and then I just finished the zipper charm this morning. This is the gingerbread bag. Got little gingerbread men and hearts and hot cocoa and cookie cutters and measuring spoons. And here's the charm. It's got a star and a heart, and the star says, "Just for you." And the lining is blue with stars. So that is all of my project bags that I have finished for this week. They will be going in my Etsy store. They will each be $38, and that includes shipping in the United States. I was gonna make some Ort pouches for this week, but time just got away from me. I spent more time napping than sewing. Kind of mentioned how I like to nap. Anyway, that is all that I have. I'm pretty sure. Let me check my notes. One last thing. a while back, I offered Country Cottage Needleworks Welcome Home pattern because I had finished it and I wanted to pass it along, and that was won by Magnolia Nana. I have not heard from you, Magnolia Nana. I will put my email down below, so if you see this, please contact me, get me your address, and I can send that to you. Otherwise, I will draw again for somebody else to receive that pattern because I would like to pass it along and have somebody else have some fun stitching it. So, Magnolia Nana, please contact me. If anybody knows Magnolia Nana and can let her know, that would be great. Okay, that is all that I have. I hope everybody has a wonderful stitching week, and those of you who are in for some weather this week, there's supposed to be some pretty intense, really cold weather around the sort of Midwest, northern United States, near the Great Lakes area and stuff. Stay warm, stay safe, and happy stitching, everybody.